So yes, it's our 100th episode, which means today me or Danny are reviewing all of the worst takes that you guys have identified from us over the course of the last 100 episodes. And today we're going to play Drink or Double Down. So we're going to go over every single one of our takes that you guys hate, apparently. Which is crazy.
People hate us here.
I've objectively never been wrong about anything.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
It's entirely fair. People hate us here. No one hates me on my main channel. No one hates me on Anime IRL.
Yeah.
We're not popular here.
It's mostly because we spend the most time chatting here.
Yeah.
This is how, also, like, people got to realize, like, this is a 2-hour runtime.
Yeah.
We fucking talk about shit. Like, it's just like, listen, like, we're gonna give you our takes, and I like to say, usually when we say something's bad, we're ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Like, if we're like when I was like, oh, Kaiju number 8's like character design is not good, and then everyone was like, no, I like it. I think it looks good. I think it's a nice anime adaptation. And then they show Gen, and it looks like a fucking me, and everyone was like, okay, never mind. Like, this is bad. I was like, I've been telling you this.
I hate being right before everybody else.
Because everyone's mad at you, and then nobody ever gives you your fucking flowers when you're right down the line.
Yeah. It's awful.
Anyways, so we're going to quickly cover the 3 anime that we watched this week. Which is, well, mine was the last episode of our house. But since we touched on it earlier, let's quickly do Sakamoto Days.
Sure.
So,
yeah,
you're not feeling good.
Let me see.
I had some fun with this episode.
All right.
I'm going to be real. Listen, I have been very I've been very upfront about how I feel about Sakamoto Days and how I feel it's going to fit in the greater anime space. And that I will forever compare it to Dr. Stone, where I'm like, this is not an anime that's ever going to be the most popular anime on earth, but it's fun, and I'm going to watch every episode that comes out. I'm probably not going to talk about it because, like, nothing crazy happens. It's like, oh, cool, Sakamoto Days. I mean, the fight against the hard-boiled guy today was pretty cool. We're talking about episode 4, mind you, Sakamoto Days. And, like, I like it's like a cool little touch on, like, the episode starts with them, like, tying up the poison guy, and they're like, and like, I love Lou. Like, I do like that we're starting to see the actual personalities of the characters. Like, Shin is a very straightforward fucking, like, he plays the what is it, the straight man and the fool.
Yeah.
Like, he plays the straight man in the entire situation. Lou is kind of like Kikoro Shinomiya in Kaiju number 8, where she's like kind of an X factor. She's hitting a drunken fist in this episode. She's drop kicking bitches. So, like, I like that we got to see a little bit more personality-wise from Lou, and, like, I can maybe understand why we tried to expedite the process to getting to here so that we can show off these characters. Like, instead of spending time with just Taro Sakamoto and Shin and, like, them doing a couple of, like odd jobs in chapter 2 and 3, like, just getting straight to, like, oh, like, the high-action stuff that's happening. But, yeah, no, I don't know, man. I'm never going to give the show anything above like an 8.2.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with an anime being an 8.2. Like, that's my thing.
I agree. That's fine.
Like, not everything has to be a fucking masterpiece. You can just enjoy shit.
I agree.
Yeah.
But in reviewing it, I gotta be like...
Critical.
Yeah, like, if it's not a masterpiece, that's because it has flaws.
Yeah.
And pointing those out is fine.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I'm not saying I hate it.
Yeah.
But it is just like, I agree, it's
Better
forgettable.
than Daima. It's better than Blue Lock.
Way better than...
Better than Orb.
Way better than those first two. Agreed.
Yeah, way better than Orb. Dude, Orb Resurgence is going crazy. I'm getting TikToks, people being like, you just stumbled upon the greatest anime ever, and it's Orb.
Dude, Orb is fucking sick!
It's fucking Orb!
It's awesome! Orb is like Vinland Saga fucking adjacent anime.
More like, or watch something else. Yeah, dog. Yeah. I worked out before this. I am fucking on one.
Feeling good?
I'm feeling good.
Do you do frog juice pre-workout? Do you do any pre-workouts? I'm starting to wonder if I should.
Pre-workout's fun. I mean, like, it's just like...
It's just caffeine.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, it's like caffeine, it's like vitamin B, and like L-acetine, and like a bunch of other shit like that. Like, and it definitely makes you feel good, but like, I get 9 hours of sleep and I drink water.
Yeah, I took a Celsius once before workout and had the best goddamn workout of my life, and then couldn't fall asleep until 4 a.m.
When did you work out?
Like 3 p.m., but I also don't drink caffeine.
Yeah. Also,
like,
there's
at all.
200 milligrams of caffeine in Celsius. Richard has fucking like 5 a day.
I have like legitimately, I don't drink soda. I drink decaffeinated tea. I've like completely cut caffeine out. And so that Celsius like kept my heart running like a goddamn hamster all
absolutely.
day.
With caffeine, I just crash so hard. So like, I'm just like, only if I'm exhausted. And I like, if I need to get like 2 videos done and I'm exhausted, I'll do a half shot of frog juice before the first video, and then I'll work out and then do another half shot of frog juice on the back end.
Yeah. I was making sure at this angle it's...
Gotcha,
covered.
yeah. I know the people who own this company. I think they would actually be happy if we were drinking it.
Blink. Yeah. But yeah, it's like, it's a very... Sakamoto Days is very fine. Well, what's interesting though is The last episode at the amusement park was was to me what this episode is to you, where I was like, oh, you know what? I'm kind of having a good time.
Yeah.
Like the fight with, what is it, Sugar, I think?
The Sugar with the rabbit.
Yeah, the rabbit. Like that fight was weirdly very fun. I really love them on the roller coaster. The thing with the balls was all right.
It's cool.
I loved him being like my super ball blaster, aka SBB.
Yep.
Like
Didn't all like a Devil May Cry fucking combo letters coming in?
That actually got me cracking up. Like I smiled at that. And the fight's cool looking for sure. Sakamoto Days, here are my like hot takes on it. One, I hate that he like gets young at the end.
He gets like skinny, yeah.
I get that it's him like, I assume he doesn't actually get skinny. It's just him being like, nah, I've woken up. Like, you're getting the real me. And it's like what the other guy's like seeing him as. He's like, oh, I finally see the guy I looked up to. Regardless. No, he got skinny.
It's just like Akamichi. It's like Akamichi clan. Like, oh, you know, like when Choji uses like the butterfly wings, he gets skinny. And then like he just eats 2 seconds later and he's fat again. Yeah.
Here's my hot take.
Yeah.
Every interesting gimmick Sakamoto Days does, it immediately ruins.
Okay.
Him being a cute, chubby guy who doesn't talk, it ruins because he talks so much every episode.
Probably as much as anybody else. Yeah.
Yeah, talks a ton. Him being cute and chubby, they ruin because it's episode 4 and now he's not chubby anymore.
Anytime it gets serious, he's kind of like Saitama when they draw the serious eyes on him, except he just gets skinny.
It's like the whole appeal is that he looks unassuming. So if you turn him into like, it's more badass to see him like out of shape and like with this little gray mustache and kicking ass. That's more impressive and fun.
Loses his mustache.
Loses his mustache. It's more fun to see that than to see him like actually be a badass. Second hot take, this is just a worse Assassination Classroom.
Oh, that I don't disagree with.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that. That's like the MHA Naruto connection.
Yeah.
That's fucking a worse Assassination Classroom because everyone's just trying to kill Taro. I mean, that's just kind of the focus of this arc. That's not like the focus of all the arcs. Like, it's definitely like a pretty consistent point is that assassins are trying to kill Taro and beating the hell out of him. But that, at least this section, yes, it is a worse Assassination Classroom. And you know what's crazy? It looks worse than Assassination Classroom. And that came out, what?
Whoa.
8 years ago?
You're really on the animation.
I know. The animation is good. The art style is dated. I like that's not a crazy thing to say. Like it just looks dusty.
Interesting.
Like it looks dusty. It looks muted. I just don't love the way that it looks.
The color palette's super muted
So
and
muted.
weird. Yeah, Dusty's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's worse because Assassination Classroom has the benefit of the classroom where like there's so many fun characters. And in this, Sakamoto's cool. I don't give a shit about literally any other character.
You don't like Lou?
Is she the Chinese girl?
Yeah.
No.
I love Lou.
I don't care at all.
Lou's like my favorite character in the entire show.
Really?
I love the Drunken Fist. I love that she's just a fucking wild card. She's the Charlie Day of the group.
Yeah.
I adore her.
I love a Drunken Fist. Stephen He kind of ruined Drunken Fist for me. Because he taught me that the reason, for audio-only listeners, with Drunken Fist, which is a technique where you get, like, shit-faced and then fight a dude, and it's supposed to add unpredictability.
It's, one, you can be drunk, or you can just fight in the style.
Yeah, exactly. It's a fighting style that originated, I believe, from Jackie Chan.
Good job. You nailed it.
Really?
Yeah, Drunken Master, yeah.
Yeah. It originated from him, and the concept is that you're drunk and wildly unpredictable, and so like your opponent can't get into the rhythm of a fight. And you do this kind of like monkey's fist kind of style where your first 2 fingers are extended. And I always thought that was like a grappling thing where you kind of want your hand sort of open to like parry. But Stephen He taught us that it's because you're supposed to have a shot glass.
Sake cups, but yeah.
Yeah, a sake cup like positioned in there. But now when I see people doing it without the sake cup,
You're like, they're doing it wrong?
Yeah, I'm like, you look like a fool.
She kind of did it a little bit, but yeah, not nearly as much as like Rock Lee or anybody else. So definitely a fun episode. Like, I don't like that a lot of the combat of like Taro wiping out like all of like the underlings was cut. And like there's
Oh, really?
a lot of the combat like of Taro and Hardboil's fight was like obscured in the smoke from the bombs and all of that. And I was like, yeah, that might be the way that it's in the manga, but like I feel like we can like animate like our anime adaptation can add scenes here. We can like build around this. Like the hype of the moment. I think this episode had the hypest moments, genuinely. Like I think like the Hardboil introduction, him showing up, Taro being pushed to like his skinny form, that kind of stuff. That's cool. And that's kind of my thing though. And that's what I said in my video where I was like, oh, like I was trying to examine what was going wrong with Sakamoto Days. I was like, oh, Sakamoto Days' anime adaptation is trying to more align with a general shonen audience when the thing that makes it a popular manga is the fact that it leans more into the comedy aspect. And like, it's kind of what you spoke on where it's like, oh, all the tropes that you want to see. You want to see him be a fucking, like a big old chubby dude who's like doing chubby things that knock people out. Him having a fucking form change and like going to like a much more serious, stronger form. That's shonen shit. Yeah. That's like that's straight down the middle, like ensemble shonen.
Well, and you were saying you don't like, sorry, a stupid shake is like peanut butter pulp.
Yep.
Don't use chunky peanut butter in a shake.
It's only way you get to 1,000 calories
I guess
in 20 ounces.
You were saying you don't like that Sakamoto Days feels like it's like taking a more shonen route.
Yeah.
Is that part of it?
I mean, this episode is a pretty faithful adaptation of what happens in the manga.
Right.
I'm more talking about the fact that they skipped chapter 2 and 3.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, like, because like that is just like, that's like ensemble comedy, 2 chapters of just like fucking Shin and Sakamoto nonsense.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want to see that, right? Like, I was like, don't take the comedy out of Sakamoto Days because then you're left with the lifeless, oh, like I was a fucking assassin and now I'm not, and people keep trying to bring me back in story, which we've seen a million times before.
Yeah. I have one note and it's, oh, this is just a full-on gag anime now.
Yeah.
There's a bit where Shin gets like tied up by that one girl. What? She's like overly sexual, but they're kind of doing the bit bad. Mm-hmm. She's like really lazy in her like.
She kind of reminded me of the girl from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, she does look like Uma Thurman.
Oh, that is Uma Thurman.
Yeah,
right? Shit.
But like. Just her jokes are so like I forget what they were, but
it's just like he yells at her and she's like, that was hot.
Yeah, it's just like, just not a good version of what this character is, but like not in terms of I'm like, oh, she's too sexual. I'm just like be a little more creative with it. Like it'll just be like someone's like she'll get punched and she'll be like, that was hard, like something like that. But
I did like her blood nose smear though. I thought that was kind of sick.
That's always cool.
Yeah.
That's always good. But there's a bit where she like ties up Shin and then her 2 underlings have like a big chainsaw and then she has like a little hourglass like timer. And I'm like, oh wow, we're like a Bugs Bunnying whole ass props here.
Yep.
And that was jarring.
My literal note was, how big is the JAA's prop budget? Because every single one of the assassins they pulled in was either like fucking Jason, like or like a full zombie with makeup.
Yeah, there's a lot of props happening in this like small sequence. I was like, oh wow, we're just full on gag anime.
Yeah. And that was the last note I had outside of Lou is my favorite character because the dropkick made me giggle.
Nice.
That's
Sakamoto Days. Yeah.
It's a 7.5 to 8.2.
Yeah, if it's like your comfort anime, like I buy that.
Yeah.
It's just not, I'm not gonna like.
In the same way that Dr. Stone is a lot of people's comfort anime.
Yeah.
Like I just like, it's a fun watch. I'm not gonna get a tattoo of Sakamoto Days anytime soon. But like my problem is that like, and this isn't necessarily Sakamoto Days' fault, but Sakamoto Days has come out like over the, what?
106 people are watching.
Yeah,
we've never gotten that.
It's our 100th episode.
We've never gotten past 86.
We've never gotten past 86. Yes, this is the most people that have ever watched us. Hi, everybody. Danny's very excited to have you here.
Woo!
So the problem with Sakamoto Days is the fact that everyone's comparing it to other anime that have come out over the course of the last 2 years. Right. So like, there's like been a lot of new IP that have dropped over the course of the last 2 years. It's like Solo Leveling, it's Kaiju number 8, it's Danzadon, and it's Sakamoto Days. And it's like everyone was like, oh man, like this is like the newest gen of anime. And like it kind of is. Like Danzadon, Solo Leveling, JJK to an extent, it's only on its 2nd season, and Kaiju number 8, all incredibly well received. And so like this is a bundle of anime that's going to take us pretty far off into the future. And Sakamoto Days, everybody wants to fall into that categorization, but in the same way that like Sakamoto Day, or the same way that like Dr. Stone and MHA came out around the same time, like I think it's going to have that kind of relationship where it's like, oh hey, like I think Sakamoto Days is going to be the 5th most popular out of all of those anime. That's not a bad thing. It's still going to make it the 5th most popular anime on Earth.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I agree with all that. I think it could be a lot better. And I was kind of hoping it'd be better.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thing. And it has nothing to do with the animation. It is more just like, it doesn't do anything I don't feel like I haven't seen elsewhere.
Unfortunately, amongst the competition that I just talked about, it's the worst manga.
Yeah.
And that's
interesting.
It's not a bad thing. Like, it's a good manga. It's just like all of the other manga that I just referenced,
Right.
be it Soul Leveling, JJK, Dawn to Dawn, or Kaiju number 8, are better manga.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, and like from an art style perspective, from a storytelling perspective, from a fun ensemble perspective, like Dawn to Dawn, better character stories than Sakamoto Days. Like, Sakamoto Days got some crazy action, some pretty cool universe building. But Kaiju number 8 has a better sense of stakes. It's got cooler transformations. It's got like, you know, just like it's more shonen-y and like a fucking directly into my vein kind of way. Dawn to Dawn, better character development. JJK, just a better universe. And then what am I left with here? Dawn to Dawn, JJK. Soul Leveling is just a fucking power fantasy.
And now for my next number, I'd like to return to the